All right. The time has come. My favorite segments here. I'm putting Reggie on the hot seat with What Does It Mean? Covering all the latest hot topics in Minnesota sports. First up, in a surprising and sudden move, Minnesota Twins pitching coach Wes Johnson said he's leaving the Twins and heading to the college ranks, where he'll take on the same role while receiving a hefty pay raise at LSU. What does it mean when trying to calculate Johnson's decision to leave the Twins in the middle of the season while they sit here in first place? Kind of confusing.
Yeah, kind of weird, you know. But this guy, I was kind of looking him up a little bit earlier. He seems to march to the beat of his own drum.
Okay.
And it's interesting because Chris Archer was just kind of giving him praise for what he's done to help him. You know, as he's kind of rebounded from back-to-back injury-riddled seasons and really is trying to, like, find his way back to elite form that, you know, that Chris Archer that we've known from years past. And he really, you know, attributed a lot of his success so far to Wes Johnson. And so it's just kind of weird that, you know, he must have really just lost faith in this bullpen. He's just like, I'm done with these guys. There's nothing else I could do to help these people along. That's it. I'm done. I'm out. But what is interesting about this is he seems to just kind of function a little bit better in the college ranks. I think that's where he's more comfortable, you know, kind of molding these young guys in that level. You know, before that, I think the Twins was his first major league job, and he just kind of made the leap from Arkansas. And he's originally from Arkansas. Now he gets the chance to go back down to the SEC, do his thing, and establish himself, reestablish himself. But it's just kind of weird that you will leave your team high and dry. Like, you know, I guess when LSU comes calling, you say hello. What y'all got for me? You said hefty pay raise? Let me see. Let me see what I can do. Rocco!
Yeah.
I'm out, brother. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun.
Bad boys for life. We out.
We going to Baton Rouge. We out of here, baby. Yep. And so it's interesting. I'm eager to see what the Twins do. I know they have, you know, quite a few people on that staff that, you know, contribute to that pitching room, but like at a position that's been a real critical point for this team this season, that is rough to lose a guy that is kind of, you know, pulling the strings for one of the most critical positions on this team. And so it's puzzling. He did what was best for him and what made him the most comfortable, but didn't really leave the Twins in a good spot. They're first place, trying to keep that first place spot and trying to, you know, continue to improve in that pitching. And he was the guy that they were just kind of entrusting to do that. And now he's like, look, I'm gone.
The plan is Pete Mackay's supposed to take over the lead pitching coaching role, but fully replacing Wes Johnson, going to be a total group effort, as we know. People on Twitter were like, well, you know, maybe he knew just how hard this was going to be to keep this pitching rotation, pitching at such a high level, especially with the lack of talent in the relievers or bullpens. I really don't think that was the case. This man got a hefty pay raise. We're talking twice the salary that he was making in Minnesota. And as far as the timing goes, horrible timing. He is going to stick it out during this Cleveland series, it sounds like. So you'll get him for another 5 games, a little transition period. You know, in college ranks, this is actually a really important time of the season, the offseason, I should say, because this is when they start and get really into recruiting their guys. So I'm sure LSU was like, all right, we'll pay you double. You got to come now. Like, you got to be here next week kind of thing. So the timing hurts for sure. Leaving the middle of the season like this, sitting in first place. It'd be different if the Twins were a lost cause and sitting at the bottom of the division or something. But, you know, sitting in first place just, again, took people by surprise for sure. But going to be a total group effort. We'll see how the Twins pitching staff fare out the rest of the way. Next one up, what does it mean? The Colorado Avalanche, they did it, hoisted the Stanley Cup last night, first time since 2001 after beating the Tampa Bay Lightning 2-1 in a 4-2 series win. After watching their path to world champs, what does it mean for the Minnesota Wild and what they must do this offseason to have a similar road into the playoffs in 2023? You kind of see the blueprint now.
It's interesting because I do think the Wild team from this past season was good enough to do that. They looked like one of the best teams in hockey for stretches this past season, and then got into that series with the Blues, and all of a sudden they couldn't score enough. And it was just really, really puzzling to see like how that happened. I think what we saw from the Avalanche was them being the best team in all of hockey from day one. And give it to the Lightning, man. Heart of a champion. You know, they weren't going to go down without fighting. Like, they battled back. I was like, are they really going to do this? Are they going to tie this series up and push it to 7? Like, these dudes are for real. Like, you got to give it to Tampa, man. Like, they're the champs for a reason. 2-time defending champs for a reason. But even they couldn't stop the Avalanche, man. Like, it was rolling and it was downhill. And that's the type of team that you want to see here in Minnesota. Like a team that, you know, regardless of what is going on, when the chips are down, they're going to find a way to win, because that's what the Avs did. You know, they got down in several games over the last, you know, several series.
Yeah.
And found a way to battle back and just retake the momentum. It was weird being at some of those wild games in the playoffs this season, because it was like once the Blues kind of like hit a couple shots, saw a few go into the back of the net, it almost just kind of like took the sail out of, you know, the building, took the energy away from the team. And they need some guys that, you know, have that type of resilience, that type of fight. And it's hard to see how they improved the team from last year to this year with the cap restrictions that they have. But they got to find a way. Like, I don't know how it happens, but they got to find a way. You know, defensively, they were strong. They got to find a way to keep some key pieces there without having to, you know, give up too much and really let go of too many assets. I know next season they're probably going to be taking some chances on some guys just because, you know, their cap restrictions just kind of force them to do that. You know, you want to see a guy like Kirill step up and become, you know, one of the best players in all of hockey, as people believe him to be, and take that next step forward as a young bull. And you really just kind of want to see them like find a way to overcome some of these cap issues to you know, they got to figure out the goalie situation. What are they doing there? You know, is Flower going to come back? If he does come back, is he going to be productive throughout the season? Is he over the hill? You know, those type of things, you know, Bill Guerin is going to have to evaluate, and I do not envy that guy.
Yeah, Kevin Fiala is going to be the big one for sure. You mentioned Flower, obviously. A lot of different storylines to cover for the Wild this offseason. Heading into 2023, Vegas already doing their homework. 6-1. Avalanche, your favorite to win it all again next year. Lightning right behind them at 8-1. Then you get in that second tier. Hurricanes, Rangers, both 10-1. Panthers and Knights and Maple Leafs 12-1. Blues and Wild both sit behind in that third tier at 16-1. So sounds like a long shot, but really right in the thick of all of those kind of premium teams, you know, those top third in the NHL types of teams. But again, it just all depends on what and how they attack this offseason, specifically this free agency period, with such little room to work with. Last one, I'm going to improv one. Reggie, we haven't seen you in a while. The NBA draft took place over the weekend. You're a big NBA guy. I just want to get your quick thoughts. Minnesota Timberwolves ended up walking away with 4 draft picks, including their first pick, Walker Kessler, monster, protector of the rim, defensive player of the year. How does this help the Timberwolves rotation, and where does he fit in with karl-Anthony Towns and Reid as a big man I think they desperately needed?
It gives them depth for sure. You know, seeing lineups where maybe Cat is at the 4 and Kessler is at the 5, kind of scary. A little scary. And what their president of basketball operations, Tim Connolly, said a lot leading up to this, you know, it was a glaring hole that any and everybody that was watching could see. When the chips are down, when the game slows down, and you need a bucket, and you need second chance points because those are at a premium, they couldn't get a rebound, man. Like Memphis killed them on the boards.
That was so frustrating to watch. Just as like
They
the surface, I'm like, is this
yeah.
normal? Is this? Are
Yeah.
they supposed to be? Aren't they supposed to be getting all these defensive rebounds? What's going on here?
They were
Second chance
forcing
points. Ugh.
they were forcing bad shots, which is only part of it. The second part of it is grabbing those boards when they brick those shots that they were doing.
Right.
And those type of things gave them momentum, and then that's when you started to see some of the avalanche go, where they were just draining threes, draining shots, and just kind of took over and just kind of took the Wolves' will. If you got some people that are going up and getting rebounds, like, you know, you look at the Warriors, they like to play that small ball, what they call death lineup. But, man, they were getting killed on the board. So what did they do? They started playing Kevon Looney more. And now you're talking about Kevon Looney out here like maybe about to get a bag because of the ability that we've seen. We've seen it before, you know, when the Cavaliers played the Warriors and they came back from the deficit to win in 7 games. Who was huge in that series down the stretch? Tristan Thompson.
Yes.
He was getting all the boards, gobbling up all of them, and all of a sudden he parlayed that into a multi-million-dollar contract extension where he's set for the rest of his career. He's still eating off that money. And there is a premium for guys who can grab boards. You would love to see him be a productive scorer as well. Maybe that'll be a part of his game too. But when you talk about a guy with, I think it was like 46.5% like with shot blocking, and a guy that can just go up there and grab these boards, you need that.
That's fun.
If you're gonna win, you need that, especially if you have guys that, you know, play a little hero ball. Maybe they're jacking up some shots. You know, guys feeling it a little bit. Guys like D'Lo, guys like Ant, and things like that. You want a guy that can go up there and grab it and say, "Here, try it again. Here, I got you. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and grab this board up here. You go ahead and try it again. We'll see what happens when you try it again." And that builds confidence on both ends of the floor when you know you have a guy that can back you up. If there's a missed shot, he can go get it. If there's a missed shot on our end, he can go get it. And that is encouraging. Tim Connolly said after the draft night, they got better. And it's because he felt like they added a piece that can really help them in an area that he felt like was a huge need for this team.
Like Towns stays at center, I'm assuming. Reid maybe plays a little bit more power forward, chews into his minutes. What do you think there? No explanation needed. Just tell me what you think that 3-man rotation might look like.
I think it's just going to be, you know, Cat is obviously going to continue to get his minutes, but, you know, Reid, when he comes in, he's a high energy guy. Like, I want that guy in the game.
No doubt.
You know, he's a key piece
Yes.
for that team. In that big man role. He does a great job of doing his role well. And what you want to continue to see is him just continuing to grow in that role. But now you got another guy who can come in here and do some things as well when it comes to rebounding and shot blocking. And we haven't even talked about any scoring that he may do. That's like an added plus to his game as well. And so you're excited about those things. And I think, you know, how it looks as far as rotation, I'm not sure. But I think that's a good problem for head coach Chris Finch to have.
Yep, NBA draft is officially over. Free agency next up, just a few days away. Tim Connolly going to be very busy. We'll keep tabs on that for sure all offseason.